What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. First of all, y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So let's talk about it, man. Tim Anderson. He's been in a lot of headlines for the last month. Over the last month, there's been a lot going on surrounding his home life, his family life, and his situation, right? He went on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, as well as Fred Taylor to discuss his baseball career, his upbringing, but most significantly, him stepping outside of his marriage and creating a child with another woman. Tim has been publicly bashed. People are dogging him out for creating a baby outside of his marriage. This is the first time that Tim has come out and spoke about it publicly. So as expected, Tim, as you can tell, he's nervous to talk about it. You know, he's really, you can tell he's visibly apprehensive about talking about the situation. The Pivot podcast tried to guide him through it. And he speaks about it. He acknowledges that he has a son outside of his marriage. He acknowledges that he made a mistake. He says that he was going through some things at that time that may have led to the actions that caused him to be with another woman. However, a lot of people are dissatisfied with that response. People feel like Tim is not taking enough accountability in this interview. He's not admitting that he was selfish. He was being a man who wanted his cake and eat it too. He's not publicly claiming to love his wife as much as he should in this interview, right? All of those things are being said. Let me say this, man. People are saying that he made excuses for what he did and saying he wanted his cake and eat it too. He wanted his cake and eat it too. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I don't think this situation is just as simple as, oh, he just wanted his cake and eat it too. I think it's much more complex than what we know. When we first, like earlier this month, or last month, I'm sorry, when the mother of his child, the mother of the child he created, you know, outside of his marriage, she was speaking about how when she was with Tim, he never was living a married life. When she said he wasn't living a married life, she wasn't saying he was out here being with a whole lot of other women. She was saying he wasn't living at home with his wife. He never presented an image that, you know, I'm with my wife, I'm going home to my wife, or whatever. He seemed to be like he was living as a single man. And honestly, y'all, I believe that to be true. Why? Man, Tim Anderson is in these pictures with apparently the woman that people are labeling a side chick, because in this situation he's married, so she is a woman on the side. But Tim was not acting like that woman was a side chick. Look at the pictures he's taking with this woman. They are knowingly affectionate, right? He's all on her camera. She taking videos of him. He all in the camera like this. He's chilling. He's not tripping out trying to hide his face. None of the sort. And to me, man, although a lot of men do silly and stupid things, a high-profile baseball player like Tim Anderson, who's been known to be a married man and has been in the image for years, him taking these type of videos and taking pictures and all of that, that just seems like, it seems crazy for him to do. Like, it doesn't seem rational at all. And men, a lot of men don't think rationally when they cheat. But a lot of men, when they don't want to get caught, they hide their face, no case. Tim didn't care about being caught at all. He didn't care about any of that, which makes me feel like him and his wife were not on the best of terms at the time this was going on. I believe, honestly now, I really believe Tim and his wife were separated at the time. Or they were not seeing eye to eye. They were going through very, very harsh, a very tough situation where he was not really living with her. Now, is that an excuse to cheat? Absolutely not. But we're going to be real on this channel, man. We're going to talk about the realities of certain situations. Because I'm looking and I'm observing what he's doing and how he's talking in his interview. Tim is talking very carefully. He's talking around the issue. And I don't think it's because he's afraid to own up to the situation, right? Because he went on camera on one of the biggest podcasts out to talk about it. I think he's afraid to say some things about what was actually happening within his household that led to a possible rift with him and his wife. And in fact, when he's in an interview, man, he talks about how when he said, I was going through some things that possibly led me down that road. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. And when Ryan Clark asked him, what were you going through in particular during that time that was really so tough? And he said, I don't really want to talk about it right now because I'm not willing to talk about it because he said he didn't want to tear people down in the public eye. Now that people, I don't think it's a family member. I don't think it's a cousin. I don't think it's a brother, a sister. I don't think it's his mom. I think he's talking about his actual wife, Bria Anderson. See, man, I promise y'all, and I'm not making excuses for cheating. I think something was really going on within their marriage. And we're going to be for real about life and relationships on this channel. I'm not going to pander or none of that. We're going to be all the way up for real, okay? There could be a situation at home where him and his wife were not on the best of terms. And it led to them splitting apart, and he bumped into another woman. Probably said he hang with the rapper, so he probably was at a party, saw this woman, and they hit it off. Tim fell in love with that woman. I'm looking at them videos. Tim was in love with that woman. I'm sure he loves his wife for sure, but he fell in love with that other woman. That ain't no chick he was just going on there sliding on and coming in and going out. Them pictures look very intimate. Okay? And it's not okay to cheat. It's terrible to cheat. But I'm telling y'all, we talking about real life circumstances. How many women y'all know who cheat on, like, I know a lot of women, indirectly and directly, who have cheated on their significant others. Or I know some people indirectly who cheated on their husbands for being non-attentive, for being neglectful, for being verbally abusive. And it was enough for them to go into the arms of another man. Now, a lot of people say, why you don't just get a divorce? And it's true. If things aren't going right and things are not to your liking, go and get a divorce. But sometimes we know situations is not that easy. For financial reasons, people don't want to get divorced. For public image, people don't want to get divorced. You know what I'm saying? Because while they were taking pictures, Tim and his family were presenting, him and his wife were presenting the great black family in a sport. Tim was, he was applauded for being a man who stayed with his woman, who stayed with his wife. And not stayed with his wife, I'm sorry. He was applauded for being a black man in a predominantly white sport who was with a black woman and procreated with a black woman. Okay? He was given praise for that and adulation because it's like, oh, it was commendable. He was keeping wealth within the black family, which is something that a lot of black people salute because, you know, there are certain professional athletes who gain wealth and influence and they marry outside of the black ethnicity and they put wealth within other communities. So it's like, oh my God, this black man is staying with this black woman. So I believe that led to great endorsements for Tim. It gave Tim a great look. And some people, you know, baseball players get married young anyway. So it's great for his image to present the married, happy life, happy wife image. But we don't know what's behind them pictures they taking. We don't know. We really don't. Them pictures they could be smiling ear to ear and all of that. And stuff at home could be on the rocks in a terrible way. To be honest, Bria Anderson, she looks like a loving wife and a supportive wife, but we don't know how people... Listen, I've known women who look so pleasant on the outside. I'm not blaming Bria Anderson. I'm not saying she's like this, but I'm just giving you possible scenarios. I know a lot of women who look pleasant and smile and just the most perfect wife from pictures, but they are hell on wheels at home, okay? I know women who are non-appreciative, who don't appreciate stuff, non-appreciative, who are neglectful, who are verbally abusive, okay, who are again non-attentive in a lot of ways. I know women who are narcissistic who look like the perfect wife. So we don't know what image is presented behind these pictures. All we know is what they present to us, but we don't know what was going on in their house. For all we know, his wife could have been a verbally abusive person, a woman. She could have been a woman who was non-appreciative. It could be a situation where these two were living and they've been together since they were young, super young. And it could have been a situation where they were starting to outgrow each other. How many marriages we know, y'all? How many marriages we know where people been together for a long time and eventually as they've been together, man, they don't gel like they used to anymore. They don't jail like they used to anymore, and things go a rift occurs. I've known people when I talked about you know, women leaving their cheating on their spouses for being non-attentive, neglectful, verbally abusive, non-appreciative. Is women out here again, is women out here, y'all, and that cheat on their husband for those things. And a lot of women be like, I understand, girl. I understand. I understand, girl. I understand. And women are understanding of women. It's a lot of women who are understanding of other women who step out when their husband is being neglectful, non-attentive, verbally abusive. So we don't even know if that was a situation that Tim was undergoing in that household. Just because they present the perfect image and she looks like the perfect wife, that don't mean that was actually the situation. Nonetheless, none of that is an excuse to cheat and go create a baby outside of your marriage. But I'm saying that possibly could have led to a situation where they probably split from each other, and why the other woman he was dealing with said, I never saw this married life that he was living. Now, granted, it was wrong for her to be messing with a married man, but a lot of y'all favorite celebrities was messing with married men at one point, and y'all say it was cool, right? One in particular, some of y'all don't like it, some of y'all hate it, and all of that, but it happens, you know what I mean? And some people, a lot of it's women who leave their husbands for not being affectionate with them, not having sex with them, all of that. Y'all know how many married couples be out here and make smile and all in pictures and lovey-dovey, but don't be having no intimacy at home. They don't have sex. They barely kiss, any of that. They're sleeping in separate rooms. We don't know what situation was going on. So listen, I don't think this is a situation where Tim just wanted his cake and eat it too, because men who do that are known to be serial cheaters. From what we seeing, Tim ain't got girls coming out the woodworks. When a person is when a person is a serial cheater, women be coming out the woodworks, right? They be coming out from this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Look at what happened with Tiger Woods. When he was cheating on his wife, he was cheating with a ton of women. This seems to be something different to me, because Tim was it seemed to be he was just rocking with this woman in particular. That don't make it right. That don't make it acceptable. That don't mean he's less of a cheater. But I'm just saying, that lets me know it was a lot more than what was going on, right? People wanting him to, this is what people aren't accepting. They say he's not taking accountability, because they want him to trash the other woman and say it was the most terrible thing he's ever done in his life. He said it was a mistake for sure, but he didn't go up there and said, I regret the whole thing. It's terrible. I did something awful. I wish I never did it. He not saying that, y'all, because I think he was in love with that other woman. And I don't think he regrets doing what he was doing. I really don't. I think he realized, listen, man, him and his wife have made amends. And he's trying to work on his marriage in this situation, because he realized the hurt it possibly caused. But at the time, I think Tim was perfectly fine with what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? I really do think he was perfectly fine with it. And he's not going to trash that other woman because he was in love with that other woman. He probably still is in love with her and got a lot of feelings for her, because she helped him get through whatever he was getting through at that time. And they clicked for whatever reason. He not going to trash his wife and say, my wife was doing this at home, if she possibly was, because I think it's a lot more to what he's letting on, and he's being respectful of his wife. He don't want to drag his wife name through the mud, nor does he want to blame her for his infidelities. You know what I'm saying? Because people would trash him anyway and dog him if he did that. But let's be for real, man. How many women y'all know be out here cheating on their husbands for being non-attentive, neglectful, for being verbally abusive? A lot of women do that. They don't tell y'all, but I see it all the time, y'all. And other women that they know, they be like, girl, I don't blame you. Shoot, do your thing. Do your thing. He doing his, or not he doing his, but it could be situations where the woman not cheating. The husband is not cheating, but he's not being intimate with the woman. He's not having sex with her. He's being neglectful, all of that. And it's other women who condone the cheating that the woman is doing. She's like, okay, if he's not doing all those things, I understand, girl. But if a man do it, he's not giving that same out or that same leeway. And I'm not saying anybody should be given leeway for that, but I've seen women be given leeway for cheating when their husband is non-neglective and is neglective and non-attentive and all of those things. Women give leeway for other women, give passes to other women for cheating. They're not gonna give it to the man though, because in this position, they say Tim is the one with all the financial prosperity. He's the man. He got all the financial prosperity, so he has a wider avenue to cheat than his wife would. So they like, oh no, this on you. And he created a baby in the situation, so they are even more pissed about it. But I'm telling y'all, he not going to bash that other woman. So people want him to come out and say, oh my God, I hated everything I did. He not going to say that, man. Furthermore, man, they wanted him, oh, he's not taking accountability. Man, listen, it's really none of our business. He came to discuss it. But if his wife chooses to accept his apology, who are we to be like, that's not good enough for us? It's good enough for his wife, right? Furthermore, man, he said him and his wife have gone through therapy. And if you got a good therapist, they're not going to let Tim slide with any excuses. They're not going to make any excuses, let him just go along with whatever. He has to have taken accountability. He acknowledged he made a baby outside of his wife, and it was wrong of him to do so, to be cheating. He didn't say, he said it's wrong for him to be cheating. He didn't denounce his baby or denounce that other woman for a reason, y'all. I think it's a lot more to the situation. He wasn't just taking them pictures and all them videos like that for nothing. He didn't care. And I don't think it's because he didn't give a fuck about his wife. I think it's because him and his wife were just not on good terms and people don't want to see it from that angle, man. But a lot of people, after they've been together for a long time, what you needed when you were younger may not be what you needed as you get older. And you might need something different. And because of that, you and your wife or your significant other don't jail anymore like y'all used to. And turmoil is created. Man bump into another woman and they hit it off. And unfortunately, one thing leads to another. And things happen. But I think it's more than Tim is letting on. Peace.